Well, this one is I'm really excited to do this one because it's just going to be fun. It's all about thrifting. I went to the Goodwill store the other day and I got some things which I'm going to show you. And lest you doubt my veracity, I will show you the cart and little snippets of me in the Goodwill store while I was shopping. I got some really great deals, all that will be pressed into service here in what we call the studio out back. I think I've shown this one time before, but never the entirety of the space. So this is where Stuart and I shoot some of our QVC videos. It's where I shoot some Channel 4 videos. It's just kind of the studio. So we have kind of reworked it and we're restyling it now. With the help of some of my thrift store treasures. But first, Stuart, if you would kind of do a 360, I'm going to tell you about some of the things in here and the story behind them. The roll top desk actually belongs to my husband. He works out here on occasion, and this roll top desk belonged to his grandfather. So it's a real prized possession, and there's a wonderful story about the bowl sitting on it that I will tell you guys later. Then these two French doors, they go out into the potager. And by the way, this is all pre-styled. You'll see it all tricked out in another episode, but I want to give you an idea of what it looks like now. This over here is kind of what I just call the kitchenette. It has a little mini fridge. It's got a sink. It's got, this was where the original servants' quarters were a long time ago. So this is kind of the kitchenette area. And we're getting ready to trick that out. This is the door. There's a full bath here with a shower and some shelves, just a very small space. I will show you that later. And then my husband, in addition to our studio, using it for a studio, we also use it for fishing storage. My husband is a big fly fisherman, and some of his fishing accoutrement we keep out here. Actually, most of the time it's in his car. So at any rate, we keep some of that stuff out here, and then this set of French doors goes out into the backyard, in case you are ever wondering how my entire yard kind of fits together. It definitely is a small yard. I think maybe on video it appears like it's larger than it really is. And then we've got some kind of chaotic shelving over here right now that has some of my QVC things that I use to show on air, and just kind of for general storage. And then over here, this is a real meaningful piece to us, you guys. This was in the Journal Record building at the time of the Oklahoma City bombing. And my husband I'm very proud of this. His business, he has an office furnishings business, and he was one of the first people that they called to help set up temporary offices and things of that nature when all of those that were affected by the bombing needed to regroup and relocate. And as a gift for his service, they gave him this map case. And it's really beautiful. They probably used it for, I don't know, typesets or whatever, but it belonged to the Journal Record building, and it has special meaning. So he keeps some of his flies and things in it, so it's good storage. And then we do have a wood-burning fireplace in here that we use quite a bit in the fall and in the wintertime, so it makes for a really nice workplace. And then I got a new work table, because this is where I have been typing stuff on my book. Careful, Stuart. That crack that you heard, by the way, was just one of those dried allium branches. It wasn't a bone or anything. But I got a new work table, and I'm going to show you where I got that, and maybe take a little field trip to the store where I had it made. And then this is just basically where I work. So I'm going to talk about the things that I bought at my Goodwill store. And as I said, we are going to use these things for a celebratory dinner that I'm going to have in here when everything is completely styled and stage set, as a little congratulatory dinner to Stuart and I for finishing my book. It is available for pre-order on Amazon. There's my sales pitch. and there's a link below. So you can pre-order it now. We're putting finishing touches on it, and we're almost at the finish line, at least my part is. So here are the things that I got at Goodwill, most of which I got the other day. You may have seen this basket before. I got this at Goodwill a whole long time ago, and now it is carrying my treasures that I bought the other day. This is also a Goodwill find that I got a while ago that I have had in my dining room, and it is going to be used back here. So I've had this. This is not new. Okay, and I always have to have, when I'm working, I have to have a topiary to keep me company. Okay, this is not necessarily for the studio, but this is one of the reasons that I thrift, you guys. And by the way, the Goodwill store the other day was packed. Every socioeconomic group, every demographic group was represented there. It was really busy. I normally try to go at a time when it's not so busy, but nevertheless, it was getting lots of patronage that day. So this is a tale of two shirts, and this is one of the reasons that I shop at Goodwill and at vintage stores. Okay, I got this the other day on the first time I had been to a mall in probably a year and a half. And I like these kind of loose linen shirts. This one I got on sale at Loft. It was originally $64. Then it went down to $54.99, and I think it was half of that. So at that, it was probably around $25 or something like that. White linen shirt. Okay, it's cute, and I like it, and it was worth $25. Look at this, you guys. Got this yesterday at Goodwill. White linen shirt, brand new, has cute little tassels. This came from World Market. It was in a small. It has some of this kind of probably machine work, but embroidery on it nevertheless. 100% cotton, and it was on sale for $5.99. And I think it may have been half off of that, depending on what the color of the day was. But this is one of the reasons that I shop at Goodwill, because you can find, or any thrift store, you can just find secondhand things like this. And because I work out in the yard all of the time, and I wear some of this stuff working out in the yard, then I probably don't want to buy a $64 shirt to work out in the yard. This I will reserve for something else. But when I've spent something like $5.99 on a shirt from a thrift store, from a flea market, from Goodwill, from any kind of secondhand store, then I don't mind. But that's a perfect example and one of the reasons that I thrift, because it makes me feel smart. It doesn't make me feel cheap, it makes me feel smart. The other reason that I do it is because for me, Goodwill is just a couple of blocks away. I can get in, I can get out very, very quickly. When I went to the mall to get this, it was a half a day ordeal for parking, getting in and out, finding it, and my time is worth more than that. So it's also a time saver for me. Okay, so that's it. Now let's get to the fun stuff. Okay, this was my first piece that I saw that I absolutely fell in love with. It's very much the style, the kind of industrial style of The Office, but it's also something that I can see after I'm done with it or whatever, my son would just adore. This is really heavy, you guys. This is a very heavy metal column candlesticks, and I've got some battery operated ones that will fit it just perfectly on this size, but also I could put small pots in here. I could do all sorts of different things with it. As I said, it's got that wonderful industrial feel. And so you guys know that really I got it at Goodwill. Okay, let's look at this. It was originally $35. I don't know where it came from, but it was originally $35. Then it was marked down to $12. Then it was marked down to $10. And I got it for $4.99 at Goodwill. And this is going to be spectacular on this table, I think. I love the way it looks. I love that really industrial chic vibe, but also this is very much the aesthetic of my son's loft apartment in downtown Denver, and I could definitely see him using this. So if I get tired of it, this is something I know that they would also like. I'm sure there's other fun little things that I could stick in here as inspiration comes to me. Okay, my aesthetic for this was all kind of galvanized metal. So I found a couple, these are really heavy pewter, you guys, candlesticks out here. So I have in mind setting an entire tableau. I can see it at Christmas time because I've got a bunch of galvanized metal candlesticks, and I can see them all staged and congregated on here at Christmas time with greenery and pine cones. And these, as I said, these aren't just cheap and lightweight. These are really, really heavy, and these were $2.49 a piece. And they match other ones that I've already got. Stuart's smiling because he knows this gives me so much pleasure. And they kind of have an aged patina. So I love them, and they will match the galvanized metal groove that I've got going here with this ice bucket. Okay, so then what other goodies do I have in here? So one of the things we're gonna do, well, let me continue with my galvanized metal theme. Okay, I have a very similar one to this on my table in my kitchen. It is pewter. I love it. It was a gift from a friend, and I found it's very similar. I should have brought it out here, but look, I found two of these. This was $2.99. These are pewter. This one was 99 cents. And Stuart will tell you that when we have meetings and things out here, I often have snacks and goodies and stuff that I set up on the table. So I will have these filled with little goodies for us. And I can come up with some kind, of tableau here. You can see how heavy that was just from that ding. So won't that be fun? You guys tell me what you would put in these. That's my question for today. What would you put in these? I think this is going to be so much fun. I can put fresh fruit in there. I could put flowers in there. I'm just thinking right now, I could float my first magnolia blossom that I've got from my magnolia tree in front. I could float that in here, and that would be really, really beautiful. Okay, so that was that, and I think that might complete the galvanized metal portion of our thrift store tour. Now, because what I'm going to do, I got a coffee pot for out here, I got an Alexa Echo for out here, I got some other things because we're gonna kind of trick out a coffee bar here. A coffee bar and maybe a real bar, I'm not sure. I needed some coffee mugs and stuff to go out here, and I seldom ever buy coffee mugs new. I go to a thrift store to find some that I really like, and look at these guys. I love these. I love the clay detailing on them. 99 cents. Okay, so I got 4 of these. Typically when we meet, there are 4 of us. I don't have a huge team, but there are 4 of us when we meet. So I got 4 of these, and these were all of 99 cents for $4 for all of them. Stuart gave a nod of approval. I really love, these are all so heavy. I love the earthy vibe that they give off. And then when I found these, I needed inspiration. I am discriminating even when I go to the thrift store. Then I found this wonderful little earthenware thing that I could put maybe sugar in or spoons or something like that for 19 cents. So there you go. So I hope you guys will come back and see how we style all of this thrift store stuff. that we got to deck out the office. I'm going to have the table all set. It should really be wonderful. I think we'll all be in a celebratory mood because I've worked really hard on this book, you guys, and I'm anxious to finish it and kind of move on with my life and move on getting my kid married. Isn't that right, Stuart? So I'll turn in the final manuscript right before he ties the knot, so I will have many things to celebrate, and I always celebrate the fact that you guys are so supportive and that you like to tune in here and join our little community. So my question of the day is, what would you put in these bowls? And then make sure to come back later. I'm not sure when it's going to be. It's probably going to be next weekend, and we'll have this all decked out, tricked out for you, and all with goodies, compliments of goodwill. Well, here's my fashion epilogue for today. When I wasn't shooting, I was actually working on my book. My glasses, which are very dirty right now, these were from Nordstrom Rack. They're Privé Revaux. Anyhow, I got these at Nordstrom Rack. My earrings, this is very fun, you guys. These were made for me by my friend Jenny, one of my best friends, and she is the head bead buyer for Hobby Lobby. So she makes all sorts of jewelry. She is the bead whisperer, and she made these for me a number of years ago, and I love them and I wear them a lot. My t-shirt is from Nordstrom Rack. It's one of those Madewell casual t-shirts that I tell you that I love so much. When I bought them in quantity the other day, I got this at Nordstrom Rack. And I think, I've just got the same belt on that I got at an antique store near Zion National Park, and some old dirty cutoffs. So, in case you're interested, there is my fashion ensemble for today.